with the Illuvium ecosystem. So it's all happening. Things are getting are getting set up. Okay, it's very, very exciting. And I cannot wait to share it all with you guys. And I cannot wait to play the game. Honestly, I have no idea when PB4 is going to come out. Okay, like I'm really hopeful for the end of this month is on the roadmap, I think. But my expectation has been April, maybe May, for a while. But I'm just really hope that open beta is coming in Q2. Nick seems confident that it is, or he seems like he would be insanely pissed off if it doesn't, which is confidence in its own right. But I am looking forward to talking about a little bit of that in the future, but I'm just looking forward to the game. How's it going for you today, man?
What's up, man? Yeah, it's been good. Busy day, busy week. We missed out last week. I think you had something going on. I was busy, I think.
I was on annual leave.
Yeah, something was going on. But yeah, dude, I think I'm excited for the chat. Very excited. I mean, we're looking at general market sentiment going up the last 2 weeks as well. I mean, this is the first time we've spoken since Bitcoin's hit all-time highs, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, let's have some fun. There's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, I still can't believe Bitcoin broke all-time highs. I honestly don't know what comes next. I know the alts haven't done a parabolic run yet. Anyone it's their first cycle, you have seen nothing yet. It was chaos last time. It was chaos. Like Solana going 100x, and it's I don't know. It was chaos.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen, man.
Who knows?
Yeah, I won't speak too much on this. I'll just say one of the things I've been looking at is the Google Trends of search volume. This is not financial advice, nothing. It's just something that I'm looking at, factually speaking. Previous all-time high for Bitcoin's for crypto search volume was when Bitcoin was at 58,000 in 2021, and that was, let's say that's 100% search volume. Today, at these prices of 73,000, we're at 47 to 50% search volume. So 50% of the search that we had when it was 58,000 previous all-time high. I don't know what that means. That to me just seems...
Well, retail isn't here. Retail has not come yet, which is quite fascinating to me. I don't know what's going to cause them to come. No one can truly guess that.
I've got ideas. I've got suspicions, but it's just obviously my suspicions. But
what surprises me is the inflows into the ETFs is actually increasing every day, which is quite interesting. And obviously, it's not going to do that forever, but it's interesting.
What happens when the halving actually hits, or what happens when? Again, we shouldn't be talking about financial stuff on this yet. Yeah.
All right. Let's jump into it. First up, we've got the Pistol Shrimp leaks. We've got Sinelf and Dualef. I've only picked out a few because it was killing my internet. Whoops. There you go. We've got Sinelf over here. I'm assuming that's Dark Hollow version.
Correct.
Even Aaron, I don't know how rare he's going to make hollows. I think Dark Hollows are really going to be the prize. But now that I've seen those gold ones, that's all I care about. I want the gold alluvials.
I want gold in it. I'm gonna DM Dimitri right now. Actually, no, I'll do it later. He's gonna kill me. I don't know if he's watching. Dimitri, if you are watching, let us know in chat. But yeah, we do need another version. We need gold in there. We need standard, gold, hollow, dark hollow. Golds need to be in there, or golds being above dark hollows. I don't care.
And they need to be stupidly rare, 1 in 1 million or something.
Yeah. I agree. I 100% agree. Gold with a hollow shine to it. I don't know, but we need them in there, ultra rares.
They would look so bad on board though. It'd be so hard to play with.
Yeah, that's why you give it an aura or a gloss. I don't know. There must be a solution. Dimitri's a master at this. He can figure it out.
We also got some really awesome Alfie leaks. I really love his eyes. Okay, they took some genuine inspiration from real world animals to really create these things, and they put a lot of love and care into it. And you can tell he's got his little shrimp eyes, and I love it. I just love it so much. I cannot even contain it. That's them there. And then we'll jump into this one. I'm going to close a bunch of tabs to save up some bandwidth. Okay, so when transferring land plots, this is how it's going to work, okay? They have no plans to change this yet, and they may adjust it in the future. There's IIPs that can be written or whatever. This is the current plan. Johnny has said that structures transfer resources and data, including facts, biodata, and blueprints. Do not sell your fuel before you transfer your land. You will lose it all, okay? He's thinking maybe that they can transfer fuel later on, but data and stuff probably won't. And the reasoning behind that is essentially that he doesn't want people who buy a plot of land, even if it's got structures and stuff on it, to lose the ability to hunt for the blueprints. And that's pretty much it. It would just be really difficult to set it up in different ways and stuff like that. And it's fine. I don't really care much about what he wants to do. Looks good to me.
Yeah.
All right. So this was a take on the land sale and how people are discussing how the land won't produce enough fuel on day one, and could we get another land sale up and stuff like that? But that would take way too long to organize. And to be clear, Johnny isn't in favor of rails. However, it makes sense to have a rail early on, because if one Solon is produced, you could have 1 million players vying for one Solon. It doesn't make any sense. That Solon's going to be worth a shit ton of money. And so that's pretty much why rails are important in the very early stages of Illuvium at the very least. If they get removed or not is anyone's guess. Thanks for all the chats, guys. I haven't been reading them just yet, but love to see it. How do you feel about the rails? I haven't really checked in with you on this in a while.
I've changed my mind on it a little bit. I believe that rails are going to be important to start off with, just so we've got some kind of restrictions and limitations of where it can go to start off with, and then from there I think we can slowly reduce the rails or widen them and make it progressively less restrictive to see where we really go. I used to be very much in favor of absolutely have rails, and that has to be it. In terms of lower rails, I don't think lower rails are required. I think top rails are absolutely. But like I said, I think we can make them less restrictive over time and let the free market dictate the actual value of it over time. So end goal, no rails. How do we get there? I think slowly limiting the restriction, or reducing the limitations and restrictions is the way to get there. So starting off with rails, I think it's fine. And I think we're going to talk about it as well. I think we're going to talk about it later. We saw Kieran put up the picture of him doing some stuff on Sepolia with fuel, and we've seen prices for fuel, and we've had a bunch of people speculating.
Oh yeah.
So that was I had to. Yeah. I mean, that's a whole another thing. So I think having some kind of rails is important to start off with. What are your thoughts?
I knew people were going to speculate on that. People are like,
I didn't expect it. I was like, I legit thought people would look at it for what it was and be like, oh, it's testing. It is what it is. But yeah, I mean, they ran with that number and took it as gospel, which was kind
amazing.
of
amazing. I don't know how I feel about rails. I'm a big fan of a free market. I think a rail doesn't matter too much as long as you set it high enough. I definitely think we need it early. I don't think it's going to work without it. I think that's clear. But yeah, I don't know. If we removed it eventually, I'm sure it'd be fine. I mean, demand, it's got to settle eventually. The problem is large influxes. Say demand settles, and then we do a crazy partnership or a crazy tournament, and the demand spikes 3x all of a sudden. And now it's hitting the upper rail, and the game's unplayable for everyone who was here playing in the community. So I'm afraid of volatile moments. But besides that, I'm in favor of a free market economy for sure.
But I think it's going to get to a point where, like, I think the free market is going to do its thing. Where if this is where I've changed, because I was very much against this previously. But I think if we do get some crazy announcement and fuel spikes 100x, like, people just aren't going to buy it. Like, I doubt that we're going to be seeing buy orders get filled, and we're just going to see price drop because of that. Who knows? I could be wrong, but let's see how it plays out.
So this next one's really interesting. Okay. So Johnny says that for now, but I've started a conversation to see if we can allow a landholder to directly use their fuel in the overworld. The original worry was that if landholders could transfer their fuel, they could just transfer and sell, thus skip the 19-to-1 ratio, meaning they would pretty much get 20x their actual production, but in fuel and stuff like that, which would obviously be a problem. And he's saying that if you can kind of turn it into like SRV2, where its only use case is using it in the overworld, then sure. He thinks it might be possible, or at least more manageable. I'm not sure I agree. I think if you give people like the 20x purchasing power of their fuel in any way, I think that's a problem. I think that kind of destroys a lot of potential revenue for the DAO. I think it makes lands a little bit too OP. It means everyone who owns land has this insane advantage, and I don't think the DAO makes any money, honestly. I don't mind giving the landholders some sort of added benefit because they don't really have one right now. Now they can generate passive income with the land, but they paid for that land NFT, so they don't really have an added benefit for supporting the project in a sense. And I think it would be really cool if maybe they had a slight modifier. Like if they sell their fuel on the open market, then they get 0.1 ETH, let's say. But if they use it directly in the overworld, they get 0.15 ETH worth of purchasing power. They get a 1.5x boost instead of a 20x boost. And I think that would be really interesting. I don't know if maybe if it would even be that high, but some sort of advantage to landholders is good. It just can't be too crazy, in my opinion.
Yeah, I genuinely am not super clued up on it, and due to that, I'm not going to make any comments on this.
I don't think there's anything set in stone or anything like that. They're just having discussions about other ways that they can benefit landholders. Really,
I think a benefit to landholders is very much a positive thing to implement. How that's done, whether it's done through fuel bonuses or whatnot, I don't have the answer to that. But I know Johnny will come up with something that does make sense.
Don't forget to like the video, by the way, guys. I've got 18 on Twitter. Twitter live streams are definitely getting way more traction lately. Okay.
Twitter? Cool.
So the next one here is from Johnny again. He says this is what the interface is going to look like in the game. Just going to have the fuel type, the amount of fuel you're going to be selling, and how much money you're going to get for it. Very simple. Let's go on to the next thing. The other thing is that Illuvium Zero and Open Beta, with Overworld and everything, he has the feeling that they will come together. But we don't need a head start because users can buy at max price from day one and landholders will still get their share paid to them. So I think that's fine. I think no pressure on the team now, which is nice overall. Do you hope Illuvium Zero comes at the same time as Open Beta? I definitely don't want it to come later, but I don't mind it not coming earlier.
I don't think it. Ideally, yes. Ideally, I would like to see it all come earlier or on time. If it is a little bit later, I'm not too stressed out. I think the main games are going to be Overworld and Arena. I think they're going to be the main. That's the meat and potatoes right there. Having Zero come in when it does come in, if that is what does happen, I think it's not a big issue. Again, not ideal, but I'm not gonna throw a fit about it or make some noise about it. Like it, as long as the landholders are still getting that cut from the balancing pool that we have, the fuel pool, I think that's completely fine. But yeah, I'm not overly stressed out about it. Again, ideally, it would be great if it all came out on at the same time, but I'm not overly vested in how it plays out, even as a landholder myself.
Mel thinks it's unfair to landholders that IZ starts at the same time. We have to choose Overworld or IZ day one. Honestly,
it is what it is.
I have a differing opinion. I would actually be super excited for like this crazy week one stream where I've got Overworld, Illuvium Zero, and Arena. I mean, I'm playing them all interchangeably all at once, which really shows off the power of the interoperable blockchain game. That's exciting to me. But that's
I don't think it's. I mean, I understand why you would say it's unfair, but I think the reality is, if it does happen that way, you just need to make a decision. Life is full of decisions. This is just going to be another one of them. Can't really complain too much about that.
Yeah, it would feel a little bit rough. It would feel a bit like even a week earlier would help IZ so much more. But it's fine. I think it's definitely manageable.
But also, how many IZ players are going to be playing Overworld? How many Overworld players are playing IZ? Like, there's a lot of things, right? Like, we're talking about how many landholders do we have? I don't know the exact number. How many Overworld players are we actually going to have? multiples of landholders. So yeah, like the landholders can choose if they want to play IZ or Overworld, whereas the majority, the I would say 90% of the Overworld players are not even going to be looking at zero. So yeah, you just make your choice.
We've got to think about the marketing campaign too. All this stuff happening at once is like insane marketing. It's like there's players coming in from all directions to try all different sorts of products all at once, and it's just a huge push.
The messaging needs to be very, very clear.
Oh yeah. So Johnny was talking about simple raids versus full raids, which I actually really liked because I've been trying to remember the name of the game for so bloody long, and I'm glad Johnny said it here because Evany. That's the game I've been trying to think of for freaking years and years. I'm trying to tell people about certain types of games and trying to use examples that they don't recognize. But Evany is the example I've been looking for. And simple raids like Evany are possible. I think that would be okay. I think it would be fun. I don't know what the overall system is going to look like, but it would be cool. And then like a Clash of Clans style would come out much, much later. And I think that's fair. I don't even know if a full raid is even necessary. I think things like Evany systems and stuff could be really cool for the end of Illuvium Zero, for building out the rest of Illuvium Zero. That could be really cool stuff. And it would require way less buildings and way less management in your city and stuff as well, which would be good because you need a lot of that for the fuel generation, pathing, everything like that. So it would help not overcomplicate it. For anyone who's not familiar with Evany, it's very simple. I have 100 spearmen. I send it to that city. They walk over, attack it, walk back. I get X amount of resources, or I lose all my units because he has 100 spearmen defending or whatever. So that would be super cool.
I don't know anything about Evany, so I can't speak. But one thing that I will say about Zero is I've seen some of the updates that they have. I'm very, very excited in terms of the UX stuff that they're working on. Very, very exciting stuff. So keen to get that in the hands of everyone and see what they think about the changes being made.
Oh, for sure. I can't wait. We haven't had anything happen to Illuvium Zero. Like, I mean, I'm like in the game for like 2 years, or at least it feels like 2 years. Yeah, so just definitely. any update I'm excited for, but I'm a little bit bummed about that, but it is what it is. We've got other stuff in the meantime.
Yeah, I think when it does come out with all the changes, I think it's going to be received incredibly well.
I have been super surprised at just how many people are currently playing the Illuvium Overworld. But look at this. Someone found the first ever perfect stats alluvial. I think ThrillTech, I remember seeing on Twitter, found something that was perfect except for one stat point.
There's been a couple of perfects. There has been. It's not the first one. Yeah, it's not the first one. But I mean, it's always cool to see.
Super awesome. They're definitely findable. They're definitely catchable. But remember, you need 13 of these to get a perfect C for us. Okay, the hunt has not ended there. You need 13 of them. I love this stuff. Imagine if you got like a perfect holo. See, that sort of stuff really gets.
That's the crazy stuff. That's the crazy stuff. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna love it, man. I'm gonna absolutely love it. It's gonna be sick when you actually start collecting. You're trying to get the perfect collect. I think it's
I'm not gonna lie.
Close. We're so close, which is it's just exciting.
Just launch the game, man. Seriously. This comment, I'm not going to lie, disappointed me a little bit. I think I'd seen it before, but I never really thought about it. Is their balance? They're not really paying much attention to balance in the game at all, which makes it kind of annoying because the arena is really hard to play these past few weeks. The balance has been unusual, to say the least.
Let me jump into this. You're talking about balance of arena, correct?
Yeah.
The reason that it's not and I'm sure we'll talk about it later as well. Again, like most weeks, you're the one prepping all the topics. I'm coming in blind.
No, I think we might talk most of it for arena.
Okay, cool. But I was going to say I'm not sure if we're going to talk about it later, but the updates to arena.
We have that later. Yeah.
Yeah, is why balancing isn't important. The updates change the game so dramatically that focusing and putting any effort, I would say any, putting more than required for balancing is just an inefficient use of time. So I'm like that alone should be pretty pretty positive. And I don't know what Aaron said about this publicly. We'll go into it later. But with the new changes of Arena that we're going to experience, it's uplifting the game so much. Like, I think for the majority of players coming in, it's essentially, I won't say a new game, but it's very hard to call it the same game. I'll put it that way, right? Like, I won't say it's a brand new game, but it's very hard to say that it's the same game. So with that in mind, with all of the uplifts and the shifts that are happening with that, the balancing is going to change. So we can look at balancing and double down on that when we get to that point. Balancing what we're experiencing now, what we're playing now, it's just not the smartest use of time. So we want to get the new product into your hands as quickly as possible. I know for a fact Aaron said this, so I'll double down on this. I know we said that we're aiming for end of this month to get that new product in your hand. So think about it from the team's point of view. Should we be spending the next couple of weeks, next 2 weeks, balance fixing a product that's not even going to be alive in 2 weeks? It doesn't really make sense. So that's the reason that's the thought process.
It's not really that for me. It's that they've said, or at least I've seen a few of them comment on it, not just Ben. The balancing hasn't been the priority pretty much the entire time. And I don't know when you guys started overhauling the game, right?
I'll say almost immediately. Like, we saw the feedback very quickly. Okay. Couple of weeks in, we started to ideate. These things don't happen overnight. It comes with ideation. It comes with testing. It comes with trialing various different ideas, not just coming up with one idea and gunning for that. There's a lot of people involved, a lot of ideas that are being thrown around. I won't say, again, I'm not on the dev team, but I am in communication with them. I won't say that balancing was never a priority. Obviously, we needed to consider it at some point with augment strength, weapon strength. Like, there are things that are being taken into consideration. So I won't say that we weren't looking at it as a priority. But yeah, like the main idea was to get the game to a much better state rather than the balancing. Trying to find out what major changes needed to happen to make the game much more enjoyable, and then doubling down on balancing once that's achieved. But yeah, we started ideating and hearing the feedback about the game and proposed changes, I'd say a couple of weeks into it, like immediately.
That's actually the other question I had for you, is I've seen, I can't remember who said it, but they said feedback from X, Y, and Z, and one of them was actually Team Liquid. I'd love to know what sort of feedback Team Liquid actually gave you guys. Was it the same stuff a lot of the community was saying?
Very similar, very similar. I mean, a lot of these guys are top tier streamers, top tier players in their respective games. Hearthstone, TFT, very, very similar. Like, a lot of I've said it multiple times in the past, I'll say it again. The majority of the feedback from everyone involved, not just Liquid, but the streamers that I was talking to as well as the community, overwhelmingly, the feedback was the foundation of the game is good, but there needs to be more variety. There needs to be more skill expression, things like that. So that's what we're doubling down on. The feedback, but generally, there are specifics that might vary from Team Liquid to the community, but the general idea is that.
Did Team Liquid actually give any suggested updates, suggested changes?
Some of the players, yes. Not all of them, some of them, yes.
And did you implement those changes, or did you more work off of them?
We took them into consideration. I won't say we worked on it, we didn't work on it, but we definitely took them into consideration, as we do most of the feedback that we get.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to it. We've got a few more posts where we can talk about the actual specifics of the arena update, but for now, we'll move on to the next topic. I just really want to post this in here.
Sorry, I'll ask in chat as well. Like, let me know if I'm being too vague, if I'm trying to find that balance as always. So let me know if you guys are okay with the way I'm speaking about it.
Make phosphorus great again. Couldn't agree more. Because I like Arcanite for obvious reasons.
Very much against that.
Phosphorus wasn't even that good. It was Bloom that was good.
Phosphorus plus Bloom was just ridiculous. I'm not about that. Was an insane.
They didn't need to nerf Phosphorus into the ground. Just Bloom. Just Bloom. Okay. They did make Bloom unplayable, which is pretty funny. I just want to quickly post this. Yeah. Grant has actually been posting GIFs and stuff in the chat like the past week or two. So That's pretty hype.
Yeah.
Glad to have Grant back hanging around and stuff like that. Okay. So the official announcement for the capital raise is likely next week. I'm going to say 2 weeks. In my experience, every time Kieran says next week, it's usually 2 weeks. Something goes wrong. I don't know. But yeah, it's going to be soon, but it's not quite yet. I'm looking forward to it. I did see some people talking about on-chain, how you can already see a bunch of the USDC that's come in and things like that. Obviously, it's not the full details of the capital raise, and I'd much prefer an announcement. It's just, I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, I'll probably make a video and stuff as well. But yeah, exciting.
Not probably. You have to make a video. But
yes.
I
have a choice.
Yeah, no, it's very, very exciting. I'm going to be very, very happy to see the community sentiment once we get that. Not only, I think Kieran mentioned that it was like nine firms or something like that. So I don't hesitate with saying what I shouldn't. So I think having them post about it, having them backing us, multiple firms doing deep due diligence and doubling down with where we are now, like it's all very, very exciting news. So there might still cool.
No, sorry, I was just gonna say, you know what excites me the most is that the tokens, like with Framework, probably get locked up for a decent amount of time, and when they get unlocked, it's during the bear market, so everyone gets cheaper tokens. Just
I'm not sure what Zalith means, price leak accurate. I don't know what that means.
I have no idea.
Sure.
Well, we'll talk about that later.
Okay, cool. Yeah, regardless, I'm excited for the news to come out, and it's it's just very comforting to know that a lot of these big names putting in big capital believe in us and have that belief that we are going to achieve what we're setting out to achieve.
And even in past AMAs, Kieran said that if we do another raise after this one, it's probably going to be community focused with using things like the Forge and stuff like that, which is pretty cool.
Exactly.
All right.
I appreciate that, Mel.
Oh, crap. I should have gone on this one. All right. So I actually really like this post from Kieran. I don't think we covered it last week. Last week's was the last one we did was 28th of Feb. So I don't think we did. But Kieran said here is that he's 34, no chance he's leaving. Money loses its meaning after a while. I want to build the biggest gaming studio on earth. That's what matters to him now. And with a baby on the way, he feels that more than ever. I don't actually understand that last bit because I don't have a baby on the way, but I'm going to take it for what it is. But
yeah.
But I'm glad he's. Let's just put it this way: it's clear to everyone in the community that he hasn't lost an ounce of passion that he's had since he started the project, and I can't wait to see everyone see it through.
It's amplified. I'll say that everyone on the team right now, the energy inside the team. And I'm sure the community must be feeling it on Twitter and Discord as well. It's infectious. Like we're just so energized. We've just closed this raise where the game is so close to being out. I mean, this is the first time that we've put out a video stating Q2 2024. Like where we're publicly coming out with these dates and doubling down. Very rarely have we done that before. It's usually always been Kieran that said, hey, this date, and he's the only one pushing that. Now you're having myself, Kieran, Nick, Dick, like videos, like there's a bunch of us that are coming out. Aaron, like saying, like, there's a bunch of us coming out now, being pretty vocal about the dates. So we can see that it's all very, very close. Where we can see the light at the end of the tunnel. It's just very, very exciting times. I know I keep using that phrase, but yeah, very exciting times ahead. I think Kieran's energy is, there's just no denying it. He's doubling down. Any idea of, oh man, they're going to get lazy because they've got the money? Not even a chance. We all want to double down, work harder, achieve what we can. Like everything is pointing in the direction to us for us to absolutely kill it. So I don't see why we would start to slack or relax. Like that's definitely not what's happening. We're all working twice as hard. Sentiment's coming back in terms of the market. Products getting better. Everything that could be going right is going right. So very, very, very exciting times. I'm just going to keep saying that.
I cannot wait. It's going to be good. I think a year ago, although I was confident in the project and Illuvium as a whole, the overworld was hard to see the vision, to a certain extent, because we were missing some really core features that would make the game really, really great. And now they're coming to life. Not only are they coming to life, they're coming to life really quickly. It's exciting to see, and it's not just, oh, we're going to be hunting them in the overworld. That's cool. It's more, oh, we're going to be hunting them in the overworld, and we could get new features in like 3 or 4 months. The team is moving quickly. You can see the foundations are finally going to work, okay? And not only that, but we've got 4 more regions to look forward to, and Tiger Boreal, I assume, is almost done. And we've even seen some pretty great progress on Halcyon Sea and stuff like a year ago. Like, I don't know how far away the regions are, but I can't imagine they're too far. At least Tiger and Halcyon, at the very least, right?
I mean, if I jump on that, one of the big things that we haven't even seen is we haven't seen all the alluvials. Like that's pretty nutty in itself. We haven't seen all the alluvials. Like we haven't seen them out in the overworld. We haven't seen them on the back. Like there's still a lot that's coming that hasn't been seen yet. I know Llama's or Jackson's recent video about the overworld features shows a couple of the alluvials we haven't seen, like the red panda, things like that. Yeah, man, there's just so much. And I've used this analogy previously before about, we were using the building blocks and getting the sand ready and the cement and all that stuff. And now we've got all of those ingredients ready. You can see the first hunting video that came out, I'd say it's about a month ago now, And then we came out with the monthly leaks with all the stuff that was going on. And then we came out 2 weeks later or a week later with the overworld feature. Like you can see how fast it's progressing now. It's the team just that again. There's a reason the team's energized. There's a reason you're seeing all the activity that's happening internally, externally. There's speed and urgency that I won't say didn't have before, but we're really doubling down on.
What's up, Najay? Glad if you to join us. I don't have the ability to respond on X in X chat at the moment, unfortunately, but welcome to the stream. X actually now has more live viewers than YouTube at the moment.
No, actually?
Yeah. We've got 85 total.
Yeah, nuts. That's not enough. Get those numbers up.
We're so close. Don't forget to like the video too. Don't forget to share it around. Okay, this one is really important. So I'm glad we got to a point where we have even more people in the stream because I want to get this message across very clearly. Aaron has said here that he would love a few more pings to the team, especially in the positive vibes channel. He can't tell you how nice it is to get a ping saying that someone likes something you did. And in this case, he says the team deserves all the credit. Very, very awesome. Right after this, I'm going to go post in Positive Vibes channel. I hope you guys all post in there. Let's see if I can find where it is. It's here somewhere.
You just hovered above it. Go down.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it right at the bottom, is it?
There it is.
Oh, there it is. Don't forget to go and send messages to the Positive Vibes channel. Let's flood it with messages today so they can all see it. The entire team, tag whoever you want. Nick, Aaron, Kieran, Grant. I don't care. Just tag someone. Tag TSG if you want to. Maybe not. Oh, we can tag TSG. We'll see how we go. Just go and hang out in the Positives Vibe channel after the stream. Or during the stream if you have 2 devices. I don't care. Okay. So this next one's actually really cool. This one's really cool. So they're talking about the updates to the Illuvium Arena, and I probably should have gone to the updates thing first, to be honest. Let's do the updates thing first, and then we'll circle back to that. Okay, so they're building. There's not really any harm. One of the main points is they're taking augments out of the team builder. Personally, although it's a little bit sad to see them go, huge win. It makes the game like 3 times more casual friendly on its own. I still don't think it's a casual friendly game, but on that specifically, it helps a lot. Okay. The next one is that similar to Legendary Augment, you'll get a random set of 3 to choose from, and you have to pick one. Now, I don't know how that's going to feel, okay? I can't speculate on that. What I will say is that they're changing a lot of the ways the abilities are and stuff like that. So until I see that, it's going to be really hard to see how that impacts the game. Okay. This is how augments get into your hand in general, which is actually kind of similar to TFT. You kind of get an average of 2 or 3 items every couple rounds or whatever. So it's not crazy different. team builder is faster. Games are more dynamic since you can't just pick the perfect augments, which I think is interesting. And there are also many more of them, and they're simpler. I think simpler is the key word there. Whereas like, because one of the things I hate the most at the moment is like, if you have Scoriox in your team, it's kind of useless right now because there's literally no augments in the game that are going to boost its attack damage enough that it does something. But if your simpler augments is like 50 pure damage, but you kind of hope you get it, then it's like, oh, I have the Scoriox in the back pocket just in case I get that item, and then that's going to make my team really good. So I think that'll work well, but I'm speculating. Hyper is more impactful. Thank God for that. Oh my God, that's long overdue.
Let me jump in real quick. So augment changes, massive fan of that. Hyper changes, insane. I'm loving the hyper change. Like right now, it's very binary of you don't have hyper or you do. Once you reach 100, what we're doing is we're changing it to a linear thing. So if you're at 50% hyper, you have a 50% boost or whatever that number is. If you get to 100%, you get a whatever boost it is. So it actually feels like you're scaling up based on the advantage rather than it being binary. Oh, I died before I got hyper. I didn't feel that effect at all. It shouldn't feel like that. You should always have the advantage if you are on having an advantage, an affinity advantage. You should feel that scale up. So that's going to be really cool. The UI changes, Florian and the team killed it. I don't know if you guys have seen
in the updated arena.
Yeah, have you guys?
Yeah, they're great. I love it.
Yeah, with the arrows, like
yeah. I think it's great. Yeah,
it's amazing. I love the new UI of it. It feels so much more intuitive. It's so much easier to actually understand. Florian and the team absolutely killed that. Mad props to them. If you guys want to leave a positive vibe, go leave that. Just shout Florian and the team
out. They're also only making one dominant synergy available per alluvial. Mm-hmm. The only reason I don't love that is because I kind of like the idea of you have to hunt for a dominant air Adorius to get the best Adorius for arena. But at the same time, it's not really a big deal.
I'm going to cut you off there. I get it. Short term, I get it. Long term, it doesn't matter because then you can just make for example, like an Adorius is air in nature, right? And it's the base form. Adore is air or nature. It's nature. It's air. Nature. Yeah, man, I forget. It's nature. So the next set, when we're talking about having some changes, you can make an air Adore, or you know what I mean. So then you can change what's So we'll be able to fix it up as we go down later on. And when I say fix it up, I just mean add more variety to the existing characters, and it makes sense when we say we want a Ram Frost or something like that. You can change those things. It will just take time for us to get to that final point. But yeah, I think having a single dominant based on the starting of the line makes way more sense, way more digestible for people to understand. They don't need to worry what is toxic, what makes it, like it just simplifies it like tenfold.
Yeah, I think the other thing is crap, I forgot what I was going to say. I was just going to ask, have you guys decided on a dominant for Squiz yet?
Oh, that's a very good question. I don't have the. It might still be just a shock.
No, but that's not dominant.
In terms of dominant.
Yeah,
that's a very good question.
You guys just have to pick one. Question. Maybe we could do a community vote.
Yeah, or it could have no dominant. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, Erica asked the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, good question. I didn't even think of that.
Maybe I'll do a Twitter poll or something. That'd be really funny.
Yeah, that's a good question.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to the changes. This one is quite interesting. So, Jimbo asked if the 3 augments that we get randomly replacing the legendary augment phase, or is it an additional phase? And it's actually an additional phase. And what's interesting here is that legendary augments are going to cost no mastery points.
Yep.
Which is going to be very interesting. I don't know how that's going to play out. The problem is that now they all have to be balanced perfectly to each other, and you can't use mastery points to make them all a little bit different. But I think that's overall fine. I don't mind it. But yeah, very, very cool.
It's way better. It's way better. I think a lot of the times previously you'd get the legendary augment that you want, but if you didn't get to late game, you wouldn't use it because you already have this game plan of how you're going to actually use your mastery points. So having it at no cost means you can throw it in at any point, adds more variety to the game, adds more flexibility. I think it's way better. In terms of Fizzo, that on ramp for IMX, I think we're going to address that later on. I've actually gone through that. I've got some positive things to say about that. So I can get to that. I can get to that in a bit. Yeah.
Yep. All right. I know we just did that one. Okay, so this one's quite interesting. I missed this. I know a lot of people caught this at one point. I missed this until today, and so I'm seeing this. So, will alluvials vanish or respawn after they escape? Once broken out of a shard or stability collapses, gone forever. I think a lot of people are concerned that they're going to hunt down this hollow alluvial, and then they're going to miss their chance, and it's going to go away forever, and they're not going to be able to find it. That is kind of what's going to happen. If you fail to capture it, and they escape, they're gone. All else, they are still around. So it sounds like if you throw a shard and they break out of the shard, but they don't do one of those escape things, then when you exit that auto battle, they're going to reappear in the overworld somewhere. I don't know if it's going to be in the same area, but they're going to reappear somewhere. So I actually kind of I kind of like that for the most part, but it's still a small chance you're going to lose it. But for the most part, they'll be around. And it'll be even more interesting if you're like, at the end of your overworld run, you're almost out of energy. You've pretty much got one shot anyways, which is kind of wild, but I love it.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. In terms of, I think that if you fail to capture it, it should go away. And it doesn't mean, like, it just means that another instance pops up somewhere else or something happens with a different alluvial. So someone could technically farm and just keep going into instances, failing, and then getting something but again, that there's the energy economy that they need to figure out. But yeah, I think that if you have a whole bunch of atlases, you can go in, lose it on purpose, and then have it spawn as potentially something else, play the roles, the odd roles. But yeah, I don't like the idea of I miss out of an atlas comes back somewhere else. Like I want it to feel, damn, like if you miss it, you miss it. Like that's what's up. And who knows, you might miss like a Goliath and be like, I can't believe I missed it. And next thing you know, there's a vampire over there. Like that's, again, I think there's a lot more emotional volatility with something like that, which as a content creator, I don't know from a gamer point of view, but from a content creator point of view, I know emotional volatility makes for way more exciting content.
Coming from a Pokemon point of view, it's a different sort of miss it. In Pokemon, let's say you go and hunt a legendary Pokemon and it's really powerful. You've pretty much got enough time and enough Ultra Balls until it wipes your entire team and then you miss your chance. Or even with like a shiny Pokemon or whatever, or it runs out of moves and stuff like that. So you've kind of got that. And I think we're going to have strict enough punishment anyways, where you need to put enough things on the board to beat it. So you might only get a chance to throw one shard and stuff. So a little bit of testing those waters could be cool, especially if they make them a little bit harder to capture than normal alluvials. But to be fair, in the previous overworld beta, the capture rates were really high. And so in my experience, chances are you're not going to miss a hollow Ramphy, but you'll probably miss a hollow Ramp fight. You know, the stage 2s are going to be way harder to capture than the stage 1 alluvials, and I think that's fair. But I don't know. I'd like to see a little bit of a balance, but I do like the hardcore punishment as well. I don't mind. We go either way. All right.
I think this is a very intelligent comment, so I just wanted to highlight this.
Bloody Zaleth. Zaleth is really good at arena. Okay. So this one's really good. I had missed this. I knew a lot of people were talking about it though. Since the game mode will change somewhat, it sounds like change a lot what. I'd like to reset ratings and stop rewards for a couple of weeks while you all test and iron out the bugs. I think this is fair. I think this is fine. I think some people have concerns that no one will play the game and you won't be able to test it very well. I think that's somewhat valid. But at the same time, I think everyone will be testing it to get ready and get prepared for when arena rewards come back. Plus, I'll host tournaments and things, so there will be money floating around.
Yeah. I don't think it's a valid thing, but people aren't going to play. Like they will, and they'll. Yes, I'll just say that they will. And I agree. I think that we should pause when the new mode comes in. I think we should pause as well as reset ratings. It seems obvious that that's the right decision.
Oh yeah, the Starship Launch attempt. Yeah, I might watch it. All right. So the next thing we've got here is this, and we need to talk about this.
Oh
Your
my
order
god!
is complete. An official IMX transaction. Well, it's on Sepolia. It's more or less official. It's pretty much anyone knows how the blockchain stuff sort of works. It's pretty much if you've done it on Sepolia, you can just take the code and put it on the mainnet and stuff like that. So it's almost there. And it looks like 10 Krypton for $40, which
No,
would
it's
set
not.
each Krypton at
Stop.
$4. As an
Let's-
expensive Krypton, TSG.
Let's not play this game.
Don't you need like 100 Krypton for a stage 1 run? $400 for stage 1. Sorry.
Yeah, let's stop. Let's stop playing that. Let's not drive that narrative. Those numbers are just placeholders. That is not the number to expect. The price? No, it's not. It's not accurate at all. Like, it's just relax. Relax.
Okay. I think the other thing that it keeps confusing people somehow, the numbers inside the overworld beta are not the numbers they're going to be using. They're like
Correct.
so freaking random. It's insane. I know a lot of people are like using them as like a basis for fuel but it's impossible. Like 5,000 Krypton, not all the lands in the world are going to produce that on day one. They're not even going to produce 5,000. So the numbers are all made up Fantasyland placeholders right now. Take it all. Just don't look at any of it at all. All right, please.
Correct. I think Kieran has already said this as well. It's going to be friendly for mass adoption. I don't know where this narrative is coming from that they're going to be priced insanely high. It's just not. So I wouldn't be worried about it.
Also, it's worth keeping in mind that testing on Sepolia and testnets and things like that, it's a lot easier to test when you use bigger numbers. Like I would have, if I was testing this, I would have even made 1 Krypton, 1 Ethereum. You know what I mean? Just because it's easier to deal with that sort of stuff, depending on how the faucets go. But you just want to test with stuff that's easy for you to visualize, easy for you to understand, and then you actually do the numbers.
Exactly.
That's my experience, at least. Okay, next up. There's some big partners coming alongside Open Beta. I'm looking forward to it. I think I often forget just how big the marketing push is actually going to be for Illuvium. Like there's lots of stuff lined up by the sounds of it, and the cinematic trailer is going to be sick. We know the game trailers get a lot of eyes on them, and so we'll get a lot of eyes on Illuvium. I don't know how well that's going to convert to players, hopefully really well, but there will be a lot of people putting an eye on Illuvium that either didn't before or just kind of had it in the back of their mind now, and I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, and we're going to see a lot of the partners in Web3 that, or a lot of the names in Web3 that were very excited about us that maybe have slowed down a bit because of the delays here and there. But we're going to see some really big names. Like Immutable is absolutely going to be pushing us. It's one of their flagships still. I know they've got Pixelmon and these new games out, but or on Immutable, but we are still by far one of their flagships. They are 100% going to be doubling down with what we do. Our success is their success. Having them be the number one gaming token, gaming infrastructure in the space right now, backing us is huge. I think in terms of PR and everything like that, it's going to be very good for us for them to back us in the scale that they're going to. And that's just Immutable. That's not to mention the other partnerships that Nick's talking about, the creators that again, we're seeing major success with the creator program, and we're just getting started. That's just one of the initiatives. There's so much that's coming that it's very hard not to be excited. It's very hard to remain. I mean, look, I won't say it's very hard. I mean, there are people still that have negative sentiment about Illuvium. I'm not going to name any names, but I think we can think of a couple of them straight away. But yeah, if you look at things objectively, it is very hard to not be excited or have a positive outlook on the very near future.
I didn't even realize or acknowledge this until recently. Illuvium is quite literally the biggest crypto game in the space, I think, by market cap.
I mean, I can check right now.
I don't think it's second to anything. In terms of native token and stuff, obviously we're not printing it out of thin air, so that helps. But
Axie, I mean, that's Axie. Yeah, they've got Coin, they've got Ronin,
but
GMT.
I think, but what I'm saying is
stepping.
Oh yeah. Well, what I'm saying is
Pixel,
IMX is number one in gaming blockchains.
Correct.
And Illuvium is their number one game. And so we're number one on the number one blockchain at the moment. It doesn't make us number one overall, sure. But it's interesting. It's a blue chip in the GameFi space at this point, which is quite exciting. And do you want to quickly take us through the onboarding stuff you said you wanted to talk about with Passport?
Yeah. So I had a meeting with some of the IMX guys today, and in that call, because I've seen some of the stuff happening with Sepolia, one of the questions I've had many times to the IMX team as well as our team is, how do we actually onboard players? Real quick, Mal, I speak to Vulcan. He's cool. He's still excited. He's just waiting for the game to come out. I've been speaking to the guys about how do we actually onboard? What does that look like? That was one of the biggest issues. We had two major issues the previous cycle: no games, and no games, and onboarding was absolute. Like I'm trying not to cuss, but it was just trash, right? Like it was trash. Or look, I know some people don't like the cussing. I'm going to use Grant's words. It was dog shit. The onboarding was dog shit. So the two major issues were no games, insanely horrible onboarding. Right now, what we're looking at is some of the games being, I would say, up to par with what they needed to be for where they need to go. We're still going to be a beta. Like, it's not going to be perfect, completely fine. But we're definitely at a standard that I would say, okay, it makes sense. Where it's good enough, I think. The second thing is onboarding. That was the other issue. And today, I actually went on to Passport myself, made my account. It takes a couple of seconds. I went through without buying anything from ETH or blockchain. What would a normal player experience? Create it using a Google account. It takes a couple of seconds. I put in my debit card to purchase it with Australian dollars, and in a couple of seconds, I was able to buy ETH with my credit card, with my debit card, and that's it. Boom! It's that easy. The onboarding now is very, very much at a point that it needs to be at. Again, is it perfect? Absolutely not. Is it much better than where we were? Do I think it's easy enough for the majority of players to get on board? I would say so. So I was able to buy. I was able to buy it within a couple of minutes. Like there was a little bit of a KYC thing. I don't know if it's MoonPay has that specifically for Australia, where I have to verify my thing, but that takes a couple of minutes. Once you do that, that's a one-time thing, and you just purchase whenever you want. So very easy, very easy.
I think I've done the MoonPay stuff with IMX before. My bank really doesn't like it, but I think that's case by case. I don't know. I think it was fine. I think it was fine the second time. My only concern is centralized exchanges. I did not realize how many people don't go on the Ethereum mainnet at all, and obviously the gas fees are going to get worse, so that's probably for the best. And they just direct transfer from centralized exchanges. If IMX could receive transfers and send transfers to centralized exchanges, it would change everything. So many more players would come to IMX in droves because they would be able to, because especially like the biggest player base right now is actually on Ronin, and all those people use centralized exchanges. It would be as easy as for them to send from Ronin to their centralized exchange and then send off to IMX. It would be that simple for them to participate in a new ecosystem, but currently they cannot do that. So yeah, I think if you guys haven't spoken to IMX about that already, I think that would be a huge deal. I know ZKVM is probably going to fix that to a certain extent. But even a bridge from something like Polygon would make for an easier mode of transfer, just anything.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
I think, like I said, it's not perfect, but it's very, very much better, and I think it's okay for where it needs to be. Still major upgrades that need to be taken. In terms of Fizzo, yes, it was via MoonPay. And yes, China is a huge market. I'm very, very much aware of this, being in China myself. The thing is with China in the game right now, I know I'm in a bunch of WeChat groups, Illuvium WeChat groups. One of the major pain points is the language. So until we get that sorted, like that's going to be one of the main priorities for that Chinese market. Chinese market, Japanese market, Korean market. The language barrier there is the biggest blocker currently.
Fizzo, I don't think IMX is actually the problem here. I think lining up with the centralized exchanges might be more difficult. Even in the early days of Polygon, half the exchanges hadn't allowed Polygon transfers for a very long time until it becomes super mainstream. Even Solana isn't available in every centralized exchange. I know Ronin isn't. It's just, yeah, it's you kind of line up with all of them. Lining up with Binance and Coinbase would be nice. But I don't think it's all on IMX there. I think some others might be a fault as well. Okay, this one is super cool. These badges, which everyone forgot about, myself included, will actually unlock rare account profile borders, which is super cool. So I'm definitely going to try and get me a silver one. Yeah, it sounds cool. I don't know.
Oh, I need to look into that. I wouldn't mind getting one myself as well.
And
if you're getting silver, I'd probably need to get gold.
Meta8 is making some great sense. Target kids. Although it's hard to onboard them into crypto, I think you can target them later on. I think you build an insane IP that kids will enjoy, and then you release your Mario Kart, right? And then kids will play that and fall in love with the IP, and then it goes from there. But the audience is so crypto heavy, it's really hard to onboard them earlier. And I agree, merch in Kmart and stuff is just like RevDiz galore. That's like the win, right? Even people that don't know Illuvium would probably buy that shit. It just looks cool. Okay. The next one, Illuvium TikTok challenge winners. Congrats to all the winners. Number 1 was Paz. Number 2, Quant Travels. And number 3, Retodiniz. We're going to assume I said that right. And I've actually got... no, crap. I just allowed notifications. I don't want that. I've actually got Paz's post up here. So go support it on TikTok. I'm going to drop the link down below before I watch this. How many views does it have? Do we know?
TikTok's really annoying. I mean, I could get the number, but not.
It's fine. I think it's in the thousands. All right.
Yeah, that's fun. I actually haven't even seen that. That was pretty funny.
What do you mean you haven't seen that? It won the competition.
Yeah, dude, I'd be busy. I wasn't in charge of that competition. I hadn't seen that one.
Oh my god. Yes. A really funny video. Really good. The editing was really strong. I think it was unique too. That was the big thing for me. It was an idea that no one just comes up with. You think about something for a long enough time and you come up with an idea like that, and then he executed it really well. So very happy with that. He's come a long way, that Paz. So what?
The way you worded that.
He has. His content's gotten really good, especially in the last, let's say, 6 to 8 months. All right.
It has. He's leveled up.
Okay, so Illuvium x Illuvadata partnership announcement. I'm not going to read through that. They have a partnership. There was an AMA with Kieran. I didn't mind it. I didn't notice anything crazy new. There was a little bit of
stuff. Dude, you didn't even mention the AMA with me. Wow.
Which AMA with you?
No, we did it. I did an AMA with Paz and Scrub as well as.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen that one yet. Is that good?
Yeah. I mean, I'm on it, so. No, it was all right. It was all right.
I'll watch it at some point. But yeah, no, it was a good AMA, but they did a lot of discussion regarding the partnership, what it means, the APIs, that sort of stuff. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, definitely go and check it out. It's on Twitter. Okay. I like how we all like ditched the pretense with calling it X. Just everyone stopped. They just couldn't be bothered anymore.
With what?
Calling Twitter X.
I call it X.
I don't. They tried for a little bit. Okay. The Illuvium Arena V 0.3.5 patch was deployed last week, 2 weeks ago. Yeah. Revenant Dust and Ramfire is just every single team is Revenant Dust and Ramfire. If you're not, you're going to lose 100% of the time because Ramfire beats literally everything and Revenant Dust beats the mirror. And so there's nothing you can do. I'm telling you right now, there's nothing you can do. It's absurd, but it is what it is. I don't like it. Oh, and the next one, do you want to talk about this, TSG?
Yeah, what? Yeah, cool. I mean, we didn't talk about the change to the program. No, we didn't. Crazy. Yeah, so we've just we had a bunch of success. I won't spend too much time on this one, but we had a bunch of success with the first iteration of the creator program. We saw some opportunities, so we doubled down. I think, I mean, you tell me it affects you more than it affects me, right? But we've doubled down into rewarding different categories, different successes, metrics of success. So we're now rewarding most engaged creators. So people posting on Facebook, X, things like that. We're rewarding the most viewed creators. So creators like yourself that stream, that do TikToks, that do YouTube videos. And then we've kept the original 2 categories that were previously getting rewarded, but just at a smaller scale of randomly selected streamers, and then the most new users, the most new downloads through a creator link. So yeah, I absolutely love it. I think last week we saw some pretty big names. I know I've had a couple of the big guys reach out to me now with this new system. I've had Hustle reach out. I think he placed. I know Classy wants to learn a bit more now. He's placed. Bryson, like I've had a couple of those big guys now reach out, asking how they can get involved and how they can really participate. So seeing people like that participate it achieved what it was put out to achieve, which is good to see.
Well, it's clearly competitive. It's clearly competitive in the space.
Let me say this real quick as well, just because I know I've seen some of the comments around. How do we know it's doing well? We look at the numbers, we look at the KPIs week on week. Ever since we've started this, every single metric that we're looking at is going up by large amounts. It's just every single metric that we're looking at makes sense. If it didn't make sense, we wouldn't double down. We wouldn't keep doing this. So yes, it's not just I'm going off my feeling. It's not how it's done. And week on week, legitimately, I don't think we've had 1 week where any of the key metrics has dropped. Then there might be something where we have a little bit more less watch hours on Twitch or streaming platforms or something like that. But to the current meta and broadcasters, just maybe those broadcasters don't stream as much, leading to a decline. Like there are other things that we look at. So yeah, we're looking at things holistically, and holistically, all the metrics we're looking at are going in a positive trend. But yeah, happy to hear what your thoughts are, man. You experienced the V1 and now V2. What do you think about this all?
Honestly, what's most important to me is that it's granting more reach to Illuvium and stuff like that. And I've seen a lot more Illuvium in my Twitter feed. I don't know if that's general excitement around the project or how much of an impact this program is having. I'm assuming it's having a lot because there are a lot more large form, long form threads and all that sort of stuff on Twitter. There's a lot more reposting and stuff like that as well, for sure. And there's a lot of faces I've never seen, and they're coming into my feed because other people are reposting them, I think. But they're talking about Illuvium, and that's why those other people are reposting it, and it's appearing on my feed. So I'm finding a lot more people on my Twitter feeds talking about Illuvium, all positive. I'd like to say a little bit more critical sometimes, but all positive, which is good. But people are loving the new stuff, and I think it's a combination of the creator program and some of the recent leaks we've seen meshing together, which has been a really big part of that. And yeah, it's been good for me. It doesn't magically give me extra time to work on content. But that being said, it does change up my mindset a little bit, because like recently I made some Heroes of Marvia videos and they did really, really well. There's a lot of demand for them. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, I enjoy Marvia, but I'm definitely going to make some Illuvium videos.
Yeah. And
Because the interest is up in general and stuff. So
yeah, you've leveled up your content in terms of X as well. I think your post there, the value adding there, like you didn't do crazy amount of videos the last couple of weeks, but you still placed highly on the engagement side of things, just based on the quality of content that you put on that platform, engaging, getting a lot of conversations going and thoughts thrown around. So yeah.
Yeah, and Illuvium is reposting a lot more new people, which is good too. I think that's interesting. I actually, when preparing for this episode, I went through all of Illuvium's recent tweets, and about half of it was reposts, and about 80% of that was reposts of people I'd never really seen them repost before. But the big takeaway was they reposted a lot of high quality content that people have made, and there's been a lot of that. And that's really what it's all about. Illuvium's going to repost you if you make something thoughtful, interesting, and it took you a lot of effort to make it. And it's beneficial to the Illuvium ecosystem, which I think is perfectly what needs to happen. And the reason they weren't reposting before isn't necessarily because they didn't want to. It's just people weren't putting all of that hard effort in all the time. And now they are, and it's showing through everywhere. And it's really exciting. I love it.
100%. And one last thing before we move on is, I've said it before, and I'm going to double down and say it again. We have the best creator community, without a doubt. Like, we just have such a variety of people that create, that are into what we're building. I've said it before. We had the incentives that we do now, and now that we have the incentive, it's just it's just so obvious, man. The variety of people that we have covering us just beats everything else. I'd say Axie still does well. I'm going to give credit where credit's due. I mean, they still got the Filipinos, they still got the Indians and those kind of markets, and they're the Spanish guys and stuff like that. Like, they're still absolutely killing it with the content. But in terms of what we're going to do, what we're doing now, what we're going to do, I'm getting some of that energy that I used to have back. It's game over for everyone. It's game over.
I think it helps that Illuvium has so much to talk about. There's so much depth to the project. I don't know how big Axie has gotten now, but we still might be the largest studio, which means that the quality overall is probably high in general, but I don't know. But yeah, so actually on that note, let's take a look at a recent leak Illuvium shared. If it plays. Maybe it doesn't want to go full screen. You know what? I'm going to refresh this page. I like it. I like seeing all the different weapons and all the different ways they fire and stuff like that. Very, very exciting. Big things are coming for Illuvium, guys.
Real quick, let me address this as well. No, I don't know about you guys. I definitely am giving credit to the market. I think overall, we've known that that gaming is one of the main narratives. Illuvium is one of the main names in that narrative. So 100% increase in sentiment means increase on attention and eyeballs. I'm not going to take anything away from that. I'm also not going to take anything away from anything else.
Yeah, I mean, that being said, I don't think that's pouring into GameFi, like a little bit, but it's pouring into small caps because everyone's trying to make the next 100x and stuff like that. At least that's what I've seen.
I disagree. We've seen Axie. Sorry, we've seen Ronin do crazy numbers. That's a large cap, mid cap, whatever you want to call it. We've seen Gala do 50% in like 24 hours.
They've done good numbers, but my feed has been people shilling meme coins the whole time.
But if we're talking about gaming, I'm saying that gaming is still popping off, just not to the extent that everything else has.
Yeah, I think gaming is the one thing that isn't getting pumped socially as much as every other aspect, but it's definitely getting a boost.
Interesting.
That's just my opinion.
I disagree, but yeah, completely fine.
All right, I love this one. So Linky's 17-year-old niece has been up to this week. They have produced an Arcos. I really love this one. What will be the next Alluvial? This is the second drawing they've done, I believe. It looks stunning. I love it.
Yeah, it's mad. That's like insanely good quality.
I do wonder how they did it though. I'm very curious. But yes, I love it.
Pencil?
No, like did they like look at an image and draw it, or they put it on top of the image? Or I don't know.
Probably. I don't know. Probably.
It's pretty accurate. It's pretty dead on.
Yeah. It has to be a tracing of some kind.
If it's not, even more impressive.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter too much. All right. So next up, we've got rock hunting. That sounded really weird. All right.
Sounds like you're looking for rocks.
You can shoot the rock. It's got a health bar for some reason. And your little drone dude picks up the minerals. Yay. Doesn't decrease until after it's mined? Forever? Oh, the energy does decrease right at the end. So, talk to me about that little laser sight that's happening. Are you seeing that? Is that just a new treatment that's going on every gun, or is that a specific attachment or something like that?
I'm unsure of that. I know they are doing some reworks to the shooting mechanics, but yeah, it's a very good quality of life thing that they're doing with the mining. So not much for me to add on to that.
Because what excites me now is we have so many different weapons and stuff like that. A battle royale can't be that far away. I think I used to play Apex Legends a lot, and I haven't played a battle royale in ages, and I actually really love battle royale games. And so it would be so much fun to run around and like throw out an Atlas and it attacks someone nearby. Oh my god, that's like a dream come true. Like imagine if Pal World was a battle royale. That's how you beat Pal World. Is you do a Pal World battle royale, and if Illuvium can do it first, that's hype.
Yeah, I'm not going to say anything.
You know I'm right. When BR. That's exactly right, hamster. Okay. So next up, we've got Illuvium sneak peek on some signature VFX for the Panda. Actually love these. We're going to watch through this one as well. Love him. He's so cool. He's like my second favorite Illuvial.
Yeah, I think the stage 3 is awesome.
I like how he's Shock too. I'm Shock is probably my favorite synergy, even above Magma, and so I can't wait to play more Shock stuff. Okay, so next up we've got this. Kieran posted this, and I'm going to tell you guys, I got a crap ton of notifications for this one because he actually posted it as a reply to reply inside one of my posts. And so every single time someone liked or reposted this thing, I got like notifications. So it like clogged up my feed for like a week.
Okay, before we dive into this, am I the only one? Like, you tell me, am I crazy? But it's not a cartoon racer; it's a kart racer with a K, like a go kart. Am I crazy? It's not a. When we say kart races, we mean go karts, not cartoon race. Am I crazy?
No, it's kart with a K. I don't know why he's written cartoon racer.
Okay, I know he's mentioned it in AMAs and stuff. He's like cartoon racer. I'm like, yo, am I tripping on that? But it's like go kart. Yeah, cool.
That's where I would. That's where my head's at. Yeah.
Yeah. Carry on. Sorry, I needed to.
Illuvium's site is down. I want to check this.
There's an update. There's an update going on.
A big update or a little update?
It was in announcements. Nothing insane.
Ah, okay, cool. All right. Yeah, it's supposed to be down. It's all good. Yeah, Crystal agrees. Cart. Crystal, what's Crystal says goes. I don't know what the Evo change is, Heike. Send me a DM about that. I'm curious. I'm down to play some Apex. All right. So they've got Dungeon Crawler. I still don't know what a Dungeon Crawler is. Is that just Diablo?
Diablo, yes.
Okay. Kart Racer, real-time strategy, tower defense, MOBA, space exploration game. Everyone in the chat, what is the one you are looking forward to the most? Me?
A party game.
Real-time strategy.
Casual party game.
Like on a personal level, what are you looking forward to the most? Not what do you think would be the best for the DAO, which would obviously be a MOBA. What are you looking forward to?
Then a fighting game. A
You're
platform fighter.
Oh my god. A platform fighter would be pretty sick. I just don't want a Tekken.
Yeah, I don't want Tekken. I want a platform fighter. Like
I know a lot of people like Tekken. I don't like Tekken. It's too hard.
Yeah, I would much prefer a platform fighter. You can play it casually or you can play it at a high level.
Cart for Crystal. Yeah, Crystal would kill it at a cart, I'm sure.
All right. What's next on the list?
I got one more. Rangers, who's ready for some leaks? We actually missed the previous leak one. This one's really long, though, so we're only going to go through a little bit of snippets.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this one's cool. We're seeing a lot of different board effects. Let's get through that.
Pause it real quick. Crystal, RTS is a real-time strategy, so something like Warcraft or Age of Empires. You can continue.
I don't know what those are. Do you know what those are?
No, I don't.
This is what I wanted to see. All the Tiger Morale stuff. Do you remember everyone got obsessed with the chubby ranger for a bit? That was pretty funny. All right. So yeah, that's all I've got for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. There was a lot to cover for over the past 2 weeks. I have no idea how much we're going to get this week, but the new Illuvium Arena update is coming really soon. And then PB4 is coming shortly after, I'm assuming. I mean, hopefully April, hopefully not May. I'd like to have it in April just for my own sanity, but yes, Illuvium is heating up. Excitement is at an all-time high, and it's only going to get higher. Token price helping reflect that too. It's been moving a lot. Let's say that. I'm excited for the future of Illuvium, and I hope you guys are as well. Is there anything else you want to leave us off on, TSG?
No, man, just get excited. I would say there's a lot happening. I mean, just doubling down on everything you have said. We're incredibly close. Open beta, Q2. We've waited this long. Yo, I cannot wait for it to actually we're almost here. We're almost here.
That's right. I've still got like a week and a half of annual leave from now, so I'm set. I'm ready.
I don't have any annual leave, and if I ask to take leave when we launch the game, I'm probably going to get fired. So let's see what happens.
How badly does the team want to play? Half of them like quit.
Dude, it's pretty funny. When I started this whole journey of like making content, I was like, yo, I'm gonna take some time off when Illuvium comes out, and now I'm like on the team. And the whole reason I got into this stuff was so I could play the game. Chances of me taking the time off to play the game, I don't see that happening. If Kieran takes some time off to play, then I mean that's an excuse for me. But knowing he's probably going to make us double down.
Well, it's kind of funny, right? It's because I don't know if you get team tokens or whatever, but the success of Illuvium is the success of your career as well, and so you will get paid out in one way or another because Illuvium's doing really well, right? That's just kind of how it works when a company does really well. And then you'll be able to use that to catch up to everyone else later on and play in your own way and stuff as well.
Oh, I'm just going to buy. Yeah. I mean, I'll play for fun here and there, but I'm just going to buy shit. Like, I don't have time. Like I'm not going to be able to grind out the content. Like, I'm not the content creator anymore. Like, which sucks. Like, we speak about it behind the scenes. I miss the content. But, yeah, I'll just buy and then play it the way I want to play it.
Also, just quickly, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to click the link that I'm going to try and find and pin. Screw it. Oh, no, I found it. Don't forget to click the link if you haven't checked out Illuvium already and if you want to check it out. And we hit over 140 concurrent viewers for this stream across YouTube and Twitter, which is really awesome. That's the biggest concurrent count I've had in a long time. Probably slightly more than the Aaron interview.
You know what's crazy?
I'm looking forward to more AMAs too.
Concurrent number of viewers is almost exactly the same as as the token price.
It is too. It's 143 right now.
Yeah,
damn. Coincidence? Man. I think not.
No, yeah.
Yes.
God willing.
It does. Seeing viewer number go up though does make me want to stream more. I need to wait for this meta to be over though. When the big arena update comes out, hopefully we're going to stream a bunch. Looking forward to it.
I mean, I'll join you for that. We'll have some fun.
The beauty is Viper and me have quite opposite time zones, I think. So I'll luckily be able to stream at pretty much a time zone opposite to everyone else that streams Illuvium at the moment. And so, you'll have constant streams. You'll have people to watch, especially if you're in some of the time zones that can't watch some of those other streamers. So it'll be a fun time. I'm looking forward to it.
Amazing.
Have a good one, guys.